Becca, 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 Becca.
We're back.
What is your place in the universe, Becca?
Like a grain of salt.
A grain of salt.
That's all I am.
There's a lot of salt.
There's a lot of salt.
There's a lot of grains of salt.
That's why I'm irrelevant.
Yeah. That's a healthy outlook. Great.
I'm pretty irrelevant.
Just in general?
Yeah.
Like who you are, what you bring to the table, opinions.
More so like
what's the meaning of it all?
in the world, I would say I'm pretty irrelevant. But as far as like, I don't know, like if I didn't show up for work, they would notice.
Right. You need to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. I affect a handful of people in the entire world.
I guess that's all anybody does. I guess unless you're famous.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess so.
That's all I'm doing. That's what
So
Pablo's doing.
Yeah, we're just not famous people.
We're just not famous.
We're just regular people.
Not famous, therefore irrelevant and meaningless.
Yeah, basically.
Interesting.
In my head.
Yeah. I mean, you could make an argument for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're not special or like you don't have meaning unless like you're influencing or affecting a giant swath of the population.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing that, then you're just like waiting to die.
Then you can give your opinions, but people
don't give a
probably
fuck.
don't care. Yeah. No one cares at all.
But it's also an issue if a lot of people give a fuck. Like we could segue into Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
If a lot of people give a shit about what you think and say, then it's also an issue.
Yeah.
And if no one gives a shit, then it's depressing.
Yeah.
Because no one gives a shit.
Right. No one cares.
So you're only gonna lose.
Yeah, basically, Nicki Minaj is losing.
She's
right
losing.
now. She's losing.
We're
big
losing.
time. Yeah.
We're losing. She's losing.
Didn't she? At least what I heard was like she said something about natural immunization. I want to say that's what it was that got her like banned.
She said that somebody that she knows, or it was her cousin or somebody that she knows directly, took the thingy thing, the injection, and his testicles swelled up, and then his balls stopped working, and his wife left him. And then that led her to the conclusion of, I'm not going to do that. But she doesn't even have balls.
Oh my God.
Does Nicki Minaj have balls? Is that public record?
Yeah, as far as I know.
As far as we know, it's not balls down there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she basically just took a position that is not what the establishment wants you to take.
She literally, I mean, did kind of what we did, shared a story and said, so therefore, this is my decision. And then, so I guess.
But you can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, we got taken down, so.
We got a strike and I had to fucking go through count like stress, time, headaches, energy to just basically restart a brand new YouTube channel, different email, different profile, re-upload every single video we've ever done, and then have to re-release them in sequence for it to even make sense.
Yeah.
Just because we brought up something that happened to somebody, and Nicki Minaj is taking a position based off firsthand experience, firsthand information that she got of something that happened to somebody that she knows. She took a position, she made a reasonable conclusion, and then got crucified for it.
That's so fucking crazy, because this is like the only thing where your experience doesn't fucking matter. Like with anything else, it's like, oh no, my experiences in the past, like, okay, everyone will be like, okay, if you're afraid of dogs, because your experiences with dogs may not have been great, you know? But if you want to say, oh, I don't like support this, you're not allowed to, even though you have the same experiences with it, you're not allowed to have that opinion. I'm afraid of dogs, you know? If that makes any sense.
It does.
Okay.
It does. No, it's fair.
Yeah, they see
for
a fear
example
of dogs as rational, but not a fear of like vaccines, which
Exactly.
I'm not.
Take it.
We support it here.
Take that shit.
Put it in your body.
Put that in your blood.
But yeah, that's I don't know.
Yeah, it is that. It's like you have an experience with a pit bull and it fucks you up or it fucks a family member up and you're like, okay, I'm not fucking with pit bulls. I'm not going to go to a house there's a pit bull in it. I'm not going to a backyard where there's a pit bull in it because this happened to so-and-so or this happened to me.
And everyone sees that as rational.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But if that same exact thing happens with this medical procedure treatment, I don't even know if you would even be like this medical treatment, that thing, Pfizer, whatever.
Jab.
You call it jab. I don't know how I'm supposed to say it.
Yeah.
But I know that there's a lot of things that I'm not supposed to say.
Censoring ourselves.
Yes, always. But yeah, so you got a fear of dogs because this dog did something to somebody that you know. Same thing with this shit. It's like that something happened when they took that thing, the needle, we'll call it a needle for this episode. They took the needle, something bad happened. Therefore, people around them conclude that they don't want to do it. But if you're famous and you conclude that based off rational and reasonable reasons, you get taken down.
Yeah.
You get hit piece after hit piece after a hit piece after a hit piece of like, and then Joe Rogan, the same thing. He's like, he took a treatment that isn't what they tell you that you need to do. And then it was just hit piece after hit piece after hit piece. Joe Rogan's taking unauthorized horse dewormer.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like a horse dewormer. This has won the Nobel. Was it Nobel?
Is it
Nobel's like books.
Yeah, I don't know what that's called.
One of the most prestigious fucking rewards for
The
use
awards.
in human beings. Use in human beings. 2015. It's an antiviral, this medication that we can't even fucking name that works. Has won some of the most prestigious awards 5 years ago, but somebody takes it for this thing that you have to take the needle for. The whole establishment, all of corporate press tells you need to take the fucking needle. Somebody doesn't, has an alternative treatment that works. They get fucking destroyed.
Can't even talk about it. Can't. Nothing. Yeah, calling it horse dewormer. They would do that. They would do that. That is literally like, what is it? When you go to school and learn how to like pull people in with your headlines and stuff. That's literally what they're doing. They're just bullshitting.
They manipulate and twist language to twist your mind into feeling or thinking a specific way. And honestly, what happened with Joe and then what happened with us and what's happening with Nikki is been the biggest eye-opening thing for me, because now it is so blatantly obvious. It's never been so obvious that something is being pushed. The suits and the people with the hair and the suits and the nice smiles are pushing something that has nothing to do with your well-being, has nothing to do with the betterment of humanity. It's completely, they're playing a game. They have an agenda. They have an end game. And it has nothing to do with how we feel and the betterment of us.
Right.
And it's never been so obvious.
If it was about us, they would not ban words like the one we're not allowed to say, the treatment that
Cytorectum.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we have to talk in riddles. You see? I literally made a riddle.
So you can get the just
so you can maybe interpret it the right way.
Yeah.
Because that's what I have to do.
Because we have people watching us, we literally have to talk in like riddles.
We have to talk in riddles. We have to talk.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. We have to talk in ways that evade and juke the fucking artificial intelligence.
Ridiculous.
That's monitoring behavior and speech. And
it's really fucking sad. It is sad because not only are you not allowed to have an opinion that's not aligned with theirs, but you can't share your experiences either. Like, they don't even want you to share truth. You know, like how we talked about that story and came to our conclusion about the needle. Same thing with Nicki Minaj. She's getting shit on for being against it now, and now she can't even speak on it. So not only because she's invalidated and then silenced.
Yeah.
It's just beyond me.
It's beyond me. And they're showing their hand in a way that I think they think that we're more stupid than we are. We are stupid.
I was going to say there has to be.
We're stupid.
People. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The media storms and the fucking bashing and shaming, just constantly fucking shaming of people that are outside within their framework of what you're supposed to be, just hit campaigns and shit. Like, I don't know. What do you take from all that?
I mean, it's really toxic.
Yeah.
It's toxic as fuck.
Yeah.
But it's just scary to me because at like what point are people gonna realize, you know? Because I'll talk with like you or my family, whatever, and we're like, oh,
and we're in a bubble.
Yeah.
We're in a bubble just like the people that are anti or the people that think that people like us are the reason they're not free.
Yeah.
So it's creating a them versus me, us versus them shit.
Right.
Because we don't want to take something that doesn't have long-term studies. Just make it clear cut as possible. This doesn't have long-term studies. I'm not putting it in my body.
Right.
Now, we have so many reasons outside of that, but that for me is enough. Right?
Yeah.
But there's other people that will disregard that and just take the screen's word for it. And then in their minds, because they're being told by the suits and the people with the hair that if we all do this, we can all be free again. But they do it and then we don't. Therefore, we're the reason that they can't be free.
And they think we're selfish.
And we're selfish and we don't care about the fat old people.
I'm sorry. No, I don't.
We don't care about the fat people. We don't care about the fucking 0.1% of people that get it and die and stuff. But really, it's just become, how do you even word it? Just more divisive shit. It's like the fucking lesbian and the gay and the fucking tranny and the black and the white and all these fucking subgroups that wasn't separating enough. The Democrat, the Republican, you're fat, you're a lesbian, you're fucking, and then you attach yourself to these fucking ideas and then now it's, oh, I take this experimental I take this. I take the.
Wait.
Yeah. Stop myself.
Fact check.
Fact check myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just like, I don't know. Society's fucking crazy right now.
No, seriously, I think I may have brought this up before, but like, I saw a video and a guy was trying to attack people who are. He basically was trying to put anti-vaxxers and pro-life people in the same category, right? Because typically conservatives tend to have those
anti-vax,
beliefs.
conservative, yeah. And then the blue side is take it, put it in you,
and also
so we can be free again, essentially.
Yeah, and
that's really why they want to do it. It's not at this point. It doesn't have anything to do with science. It doesn't have anything to do with actually helping people. It has to do with like, I want to go to the movie theater without a mask on. You need to take this fucking needle so I can go to the fucking mall and I can go and, I don't know, like, you know, live again.
They want it to be over, but that's not the way to make it be over. Well,
no, it's not. They're just going to move it just like they've been moving. It was 2 weeks to stop the spread. 2 weeks?
Something like that. Yeah. And then
2 weeks?
And then new variants.
Of course, which they didn't see, but that's the nature of a fucking virus.
That's what happens. And you would think anyone with like a 10th grade science level would
8th grade?
know that. Maybe younger?
Yeah, 8th grade education would know that viruses mutate. I think I learned that in like 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah, that's
but,
like, junior high science.
Junior high.
The fuck? But these doctors, right?
Right. The
God.
experts.
Yeah.
All these experts.
The most reliable
The people
sources
we gotta
who
listen.
we can't argue with. It's ridiculous.
Well, you can't have an opinion if you're not them. Literally.
Yeah.
It's like,
That is true.
you don't wear the coat, you don't have the name tag, you cannot have an opinion on this.
Yeah.
Period.
And actually, some that do, some doctors.
Oh, there's a lot.
Are becoming to get discredited solely
Demonetized.
On their opinion. Yeah.
There's this one evolutionary biologist. What the fuck's his name? It'll come to me probably. Maybe not. I'm sober right now, so it should come to me. He got demonetized. He's a fucking scientist. He's not a virologist, but he's a fucking scientist.
Yeah.
And he can't have an opinion on it. Not because he's not an expert, but because it's the wrong opinion.
His opinion doesn't align.
So he wears the coat and the name tag. Still no.
Still no. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't understand. I made this joke to this guy, because he was trying to put pro-life people and anti-vaxxers in the same category. And I said, well, actually, I'm pro-choice and anti-vax. Like, what does that mean? People don't even realize that you can have thoughts outside of what society tells you.
Outside of these groups that I was
Yes.
thinking about this shit today, honestly, because I have a really intelligent friend that was a liberal, and now since the liberal base has moved into just Democrat establishment person, that you're literally the defender of the establishment.
Yeah.
That's what the Democratic Party has shifted to. But when I was motherfucking 18, 19, it was anti-war, pro-free speech. It was liberal. What's the root of liberal?
Like
The root word of liberal. Liberty.
Liberate.
And now the people that attach themselves to that label liberal have nothing to fucking do with liberty.
yeah.
It's not there. But what's the root of the word? It's like, you guys are the most anti-fucking liberty group in the United States. But the root of... So it's like the cognitive dissonance, and it's like, what in the fuck is happening?
They did become super extreme. I mean, I've known that, so I haven't taken the time to like really sit and think about it. But that is so true. The Democratic Party
Is now just defenders of the
liberals-
establishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the defenders.
It's fucking crazy.
It is of the system. Yeah, of the system as it is.
Yeah.
And that's just what the fuck it is right now.
Because like kind of how it was explained to me, this is probably not right, but it was definitely taught to me in school. That
Yeah, of course.
the Democratic Party, or maybe it's true to a certain extent, maybe just not so much anymore, but the Democratic Party talks about like government security and safety over freedom. And like Republicans, conservatives, like state power, and also like
More community, more individual, the
Yes.
power of the individual.
less security from the government, more freedom.
More security as an individual moving through life.
Yeah. Yeah.
More freedom as an individual.
So it seems to me Democrats have always been about like, okay, government security over freedom, which kind of lines up because it seems like all they've been doing is trying to take away our freedoms, our First Amendment, Second Amendment rights,
All of them.
everything.
All the fucking amendments.
I mean, we can't fucking say a true story, or we're constantly censoring ourselves. We can't even talk about half the things we want to
No.
because,
Protection.
yeah,
Because safety.
because safety over freedom, right?
It's all blanketed in safety. And at a certain point, it's like, you don't give a fuck about our safety.
That is also, yes, why would you rely on the government to provide that security, safety for you? Like, they don't give two shits about you.
No.
They do not care.
No. Nothing.
That's fucking, I was gonna, I don't want to get canceled for
Self-censor.
saying the R word.
Rude. You guys are rude.
Yeah, you guys are rude.
You guys are very rude.
That's such a new thing though, like not being allowed to say the R word. That is,
I don't even know what R word was. You want to spell it or something?
Like, non-offensive retard.
Oh,
Yeah.
retard.
Or like that's retarded.
That's offensive now?
You didn't know that? Yeah, people get like canceled for saying that.
For saying retard?
Yeah. Oh, you're ableist. The fuck does that even mean?
You're just making up your fucking... Who's making this shit up? Where's this coming from?
No, there's some shit I seen. It's pretty fucking gnarly. Like there's some videos. It's like why I hate Gen Z, and just show like a compilation of things people have said. One of them was like, why do you have to stop drinking alcohol when you have a baby? Isn't not wanting your baby to be disabled kind of ableist? I'm like, no, it's just not wanting your baby to be disabled.
No fucking way. No way.
Yeah, and this is probably a kid younger than me.
So, drinking alcohol, you not drinking alcohol is being discriminatory towards retards because the alcohol could make your kid retarded. Holy shit.
Not
oh my God.
A retarded kid makes you ableist.
Ableist, and ableist means
Like
discriminatory towards retards?
toward disabled people. So it could be like crippled too, like physically disabled.
Ableist
too.
is being discriminatory towards like
disabled
people.
Yeah, whether mentally, physically.
And then so you're being discriminatory towards a disabled person by consciously preventing making a disabled person?
By trying to avoid your baby
being retarded.
having disabilities. Wait, isn't that supposed to be a good thing? You're like helping out your child, right? The fuck? But no, it's ableist.
I am fucking terrified with like...
Yeah, that's my generation.
Where this all goes. Where does it go? When I'm 40 and all these kids are all grown
that's gonna
and running society.
Be scary.
It's gonna... Oh, man.
You're going to be living off of them for Social Security, but there's not going to be none.
No, yeah, I mean, it's fucking terrifying the way the minds of the youth are being molded now.
Oh, no, it's ridiculous. There's so many things I could go on about right now.
Yeah, do it.
Stripping.
Yeah.
Grooming little girls into thinking that stripping is a empowering profession that can make you a lot of money. The fuck is that? That's like a new thing I've been seeing a lot. Like
it's a career path now?
Yeah, almost. Like women who are currently strippers are like kind of grooming younger girls into thinking like, hey, get into this. You'll be confident. This is self-empowerment, you know? It's not about what misogyny does to you, but what can misogyny do for you? Stuff like that.
Okay.
And it's really fucking toxic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I've been to a lot of strip clubs. And let me tell you something.
No, that they have no idea what they're getting into. They think like, oh, yay, stripping's so fun. Most women have to get like almost blackout drunk just to be able to perform their job because it's so
dehumanizing.
disgusting. Yes.
You can't. It's so rare that you see a stripper sober. They're either high on pills, they're high. Think about going onto a stage in front of 40 and 50-year-old people, like overweight 40-year-olds and 30-year-olds, and people
Mostly
in construction.
Old men.
Older people, more people older than like 35, like overweight. Like they're either in a terrible marriage or they're just like fucking weird. And you get on a stage and you twirl around, you dance around a pole, you eventually take your clothes off and you show these people your asshole.
For money.
You bend over, you spread your cheeks, show these 45-year-old perverts your butthole, and then you unspread your cheeks, slap your ass, you continue to dance, and they're throwing you dollar bills. Is that empowerment?
That, I completely agree. 100%. 100%.
Is that empowerment? Because if that's empowerment, then I don't know what empowerment is.
Yeah, no, it's become so twisted. They're like, no, take their money. Like, they're the sick ones, you know, let's get the money from them, like, make them pay, whatever. But it's like, why would you do that to yourself just to try and tear them down, which you're not doing because they don't give a fuck and they're just there for that reason. But yeah, I know a lot of it's like oh, you do what you want to do, girl. Like, no one should be ashamed for doing sex work or whatever. And that I agree with, but like, that's why most strippers don't say that they're a stripper, you know? But it's, I don't know. I mean, being in a room on a stage, just looking down at like, there's men and women probably, but
mostly men.
Mostly
98% men, 99% men.
Just that is triggering in itself. That's fucking disgusting. Like, why? Not, you know, I'm not shaming the job at all, but for me, having gone through what I've been through, it's like, ew, why the fuck would you put yourself there if you didn't have to?
You know? Can't if you're not high.
That's true, yeah.
You have to alter your judgment, and you have to tear your judgment down with drugs in order to even get on that stage. So not only is it not empowering, it's the opposite of it. Mm-hmm. You're destroying yourself.
I saw a video about ex-stripper actually talking about that. She's like, I don't know why all of you guys are telling these young girls that stripping is about self-empowerment when it's actually the opposite. And I got my empowerment when I stopped stripping.
Yeah.
And that's literally it. It's the opposite.
Well, you're relying on these fucking pervs and these like just probably mostly gross people. There's gonna be people like me that go through there in their fucking 20s and stuff, and we're fucking drunk.
With friends.
Like the last time that I went to a strip club, I got fucking hammered drunk at a concert, and the artist left the stage at 20 minutes, and I thought it was gonna be an hour. I'm like, oh, I'm too drunk to go home. So what's the logical next step from here? Go to the strip club, sober up. Strip club's open until 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So I went to the strip club, and there's people like me, and also there's like the 45-year-old Mexican that speaks broken English that just treats, and these are 18-year-old girls.
Oh yeah, those are the men that are most triggering to me.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's colored men.
They're literally still in their construction outfits, and they're throwing 18 and 19-year-old girls dollar bills so that they would show them their pussies.
Yeah.
That's empowering. Wow.
Yeah, literally, it's funny because construction workers actually, I'm not generalizing all construction workers, whatever, but
yeah, I mean you can't, but
yeah, but
in general, their life is probably shitty. They're check to check. They're
in my experience, I've gotten pissed at several because they'll be calling at me or whatever, and I'm like, aren't you here from Mexico to bring back money for your wife and children in Mexico? Like, what the fuck are you trying to do picking up a white child in America? Like, what are you doing? I saw one of some kid I guess I have on social media. I don't know how I know him, but he's going into construction. He like posted a Snapchat of the room full of construction workers who they were taking a test. I literally looked at that video and I was like, if I stood in that room, I would be so triggered. I would be on the edge of my fucking seat, which is so sad because I'm sure not all of them are like that. But like, yeah, seeing a construction worker now is almost triggering.
Jesus Christ.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to talk about.
What?
Epstein.
Yeah, with the grooming stuff, I mean, the woman has to lure the child in, or has to lure the, what do we call, the victim?
Yeah, victim, because some of them are minors, some of them aren't.
Yeah, and even if they're not minors, they're victims, and they probably came from broken homes.
Yeah.
They probably didn't have a father, and if they had a father, he was probably drunk and beating their mom. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, they come from fucked up places.
Right.
They're vulnerable. Somebody comes in, and they're like, fuck. Like, like, I'm gonna try again. They send girls out into like society or into schools and stuff, and they give them the madam, like Epstein's, what was her name, Ghislaine Maxwell. Mm-hmm. She would bring some herself. She would bring in kids and teenagers into the fold, and then they would give him a massage for a pretty high price and a good price. And then Ghislaine would send the kids back to the school and be like, "Yo, tell your friends they can give a massage to this man, and they'll get paid this. And if you for however many people you can bring in, we're gonna give you this."
Damn.
Per girl.
That's awful.
And then that's the way it goes.
That is very appealing to someone who has no money.
No money, or even somebody that's working fucking $9 an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get $300 for a massage. Was that 45 minutes?
Yeah, I'm like that would sound very appealing.
That's my whole fucking work week.
That would sound more like, oh, hell yeah, than it would like, oh,
yeah,
that's scary.
And the massage is like, it's pretty well cloaked. Like it's a very, very good camouflaged kind of way to get them in the door.
Yes.
It's just a massage.
Because I was going to say, I think I heard one of the stories like that, but he ends up raping her.
Yeah.
Because that's what he
does. Or he
does.
grabbed the hand and put it on his member, his unit, and then it balls in their court.
Yeah. That shit's not worth $300.
No. I watched the documentary, and yeah, it's not worth $300. Maybe 600.
I was going to say,
yeah,
a little bit more than that.
A little bit more, double it.
Double. Yeah. And then we're talking.
Yeah, but I mean, basically the point was that Epstein can't go out into society and get these girls. How fucked up and weird would that look like?
Right.
It's a gift. Like
grown ass man approaching you. Hey, give me a massage.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta give you $300 for a massage.
No.
Yeah, of course.
Not. But women are a lot more comforting, especially to younger people.
Yeah.
And they're a lot.
And then
more,
maybe they didn't have a parent, or they didn't, and there's Ghislaine comes in and she talks eloquent. And she kind of
motherly figure,
right? And then she convinces you to come and give this man a massage, but the man himself can't come out there and give you or convince you to go back to this place and give him a massage. Yeah. So, and then these girls convincing these strippers or these children to become strippers. It has to be them. It can't be
the grown men going.
It can't be the construction worker on a YouTube video like, "Hey kids, like."
Come sell your bodies. We want it all. We want to see the goods. Yeah, no one would fall. So unappealing. But yeah, that's I wonder if like strip club management is like, okay guys, we need to get some younger girls, rally up some new girls, like how are we going to do it? And then
they do the same thing. I almost guarantee you that with some of the strippers, if they start to become short staffed or like they need more, they would probably tell their strippers like, look, if you got any friends, you can bring some people in here. We'll give you X amount per person that you bring in.
And so then they become the groomer.
And it's the same system, but it's legal. Just like pharmaceutical companies are drug dealers, but it's cloaked in scientific language, and they got the fucking your name is on the bottle, and then they have the fucking stamped pieces of paper with fancy lettering on the walls, and they got on, and then but really it's like it's the same thing as the strip club doing. I mean, it can be helpful, but so can street drugs.
Yeah,
like the pharmaceuticals can help people, but so can weed.
And
so can other drugs, you know. So it's kind of the same thing a little bit. Like
I would think
they just figured out their legal way to sell the drugs.
Get away with it.
Yeah, because I mean, they have triggered epidemics with opium and opiates, and then there's been many bodies, and there's been many the line between what pharmaceutical companies have done and then like street drugs. It's hardly there. The two things are so comparable.
No, that's actually kind of crazy. The amount of addictions, overdoses, and deaths are probably about the same.
Yeah. And honestly, they'll get you addicted to it, and then you run out of prescription, then you have to go in the streets and get the street version of it.
It's really sad. I've seen a couple stories where like underage kids, like 13, one was 13, one was probably like 10, and they get prescribed pain pills for a broken arm or something, and then they're addicted the rest of their lives. I'm like, you're a child.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are they not being held accountable for making an addicted child?
Yeah. Altering the chemistry.
Understand. Yeah.
The chemistry of something
they should be held accountable for stuff like that.
But never. It will never happen. They have
you
so
signed
much
something
money.
That said you wouldn't sue us.
Right.
So
you can't. But I mean, and then the strip club is the pimp.
Yeah.
You can't be a pimp on the street, and you can't get a prostitute to sell her body for you, and you get a cut off of the body that she's selling to strangers. Yeah. You can't do that, but you can open up a strip club and bring girls in to sell their body and get naked for strangers, and you're getting a cut off that. Yeah. So like, and then also, oh my God, like you can't fuck a prostitute or you can't have sex with a prostitute. But if you turn a camera on, then you can. Because now it's porn and that's legal. It's like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing?
That is the most skewed logic I ever heard, but that's literally our reality.
It's true.
It's our fucking reality.
Yeah.
That's insane.
You can pay someone to have sex with you if you're streaming it on the internet. But if you're not streaming it on the internet,
it's like, as long as you guys let us see, then you can do it. Otherwise, it's illegal.
As long as 13-year-olds can fucking pull it up on the internet, then you're in the clear.
Yeah. Just give us some clips of it and you're good.
Give us some clips.
We need to get a peek and then we won't bother you.
Yeah. So, I mean, law, and then it just, none of it makes sense.
Yeah.
Once you start dissecting it and you come like legal, illegal, like it doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it makes no sense. The first realization I had with that was weed, because I'm like, okay, you're telling me this shit works, but it's illegal in like.
And it's a plant. You can't overdose on it.
45 states.
It's probably now we probably got like 10 that legalized it now.
Okay, so maybe there's like 40, 35 that.
That's weird to think about. There's really that many.
I know, that's actually a lot.
That don't have it legalized. I know Nevada is still. I think it's still pretty heavy-handed on that shit.
Because yeah, I think about it, and
Nevada.
I'm so used to having my med card.
Yeah.
It's just easy, and I think, wait, there's people who literally cannot have weed.
It's a West Coast thing. I think that most of the East Coast can't. It's not legal on most of the Middle America and East Coast, but it's really legal in the West Coast.
Yeah. So this shit.
So to us, it's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It was very normal to me, but it works. It's natural. It comes from the fucking ground.
You can't overdose on it. That's a big deal. Like it's not going to kill you directly. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these fucking things, the pills and stuff they're giving to children and stuff, like
you can't exceed your what you were prescribed. Otherwise, you could die and shit like that. But yeah, a weed.
You can't die. You might be stupid as shit and get fat and lose your job. I mean, you probably won't. I mean, I don't know.
Probably won't.
But it's not going to kill you.
Yeah. And I definitely have smoked enough that, would be enough for an overdose of anything else. Mm-hmm. But,
Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah.
In one sitting for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a fucking tree. It's a fucking plant.
It's an herb.
So it's just going in and out of you. It's not chemicals. I mean, obviously, still smoke to the lungs and everything.
It's not laboratory made chemicals.
But it's not, yes.
It's not pressed in a fucking laboratory.
Man-made chemicals. That is my point.
Right. Like fluorescent lit room with like people in these fucking like white coats, like pressing these powders together and like stamping them with numbers. Like, but that's totally cool. And then that can really fuck you up.
No, yeah. And then you have 13-year-olds getting fucking addicted to that shit. And people dying because of the shit. Oh,
people dying, people going to prison, people becoming addicted to the chemical and then getting the street version of it and either dying from the street version or going to prison for just getting the version of it that they can get their hands on because the pharmaceutical companies made them addicted to it.
I was going to say, why it's legal? Because pharmaceuticals use them, but like it almost seems like they know people will get addicted. Otherwise, why would they not stop using it and use weed?
You're right. They covered up a bunch of fucking stories, and then they put a shitload of money into the places weed was becoming legal. It was fucking with their pockets. Like they were seeing like a correlation with like
maybe because weed works.
Yes, but they were seeing a correlation with states legalizing weed and their sales going down tremendously. So they started campaigning and putting fucking billions of dollars into like keeping weed illegal and stuff. And these are the same people that are fucking readying the needles for us.
It's crazy because, yeah, you think, oh, these people want to help us. No, these people don't get money unless you're sick. That is the whole point. So they don't want us to get better. So they are literally trying to illegalize weed everywhere, like you're saying, funding money into
so
it.
we could be more sick so they can make more money because their business model is sick people.
And getting us more addicted.
Yeah.
It even helps if they're addicted because they'll come back.
Yeah. Getting people on medication, that's not a long-term solution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no long-term gain and stuff. Like I know you're on a few pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
You're on a few pharmaceuticals. My brother's he's got an Adderall and prescription. It's helped him. He's told me that it's helped him a lot.
Well, that one is interesting, Adderall, because
Hitler was on Adderall, basically.
Adderall is basically meth.
Yes,
it's like meth,
clean meth,
but
very clean meth.
It is crazy. An ADHD brain, like chemically, everything looks different than a regular brain.
Okay.
So like Adderall is actually effective because, you know, people who do it for recreational, they have a good trip or high, whatever. They
get all talkative and you fucking
like
you start sweating and you're sitting down, you start sweating.
And it's the opposite for someone with ADHD. They calm down on Adderall because the amphetamines, I'm not a scientist, but
it's weird because I have like a bunch of symptoms. Okay, two things. Let's see if I can remember them both here. My brother Jake got on Adderall and he was in a really rough patch. He was like,
I do remember when
a devout Christian, and he was actually like questioning his God. Shit got so bad that he was like, is God real?
Yeah.
And he was like from fucking the cradle on just being, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this system of belief. And then shit got so dark and bad for him that he was like, I don't even think God, I'm at the point where I don't even think really God's real.
Questioning everything.
Like if God's real, then why would all this shit be happening to me?
Yeah.
If God's real and he loves me and cares about me, why the fuck am I going through this shit?
Yeah.
So he got on Adderall and it really, really helped him. I don't know where he's at now. I haven't talked to him about like if it's still helped him, it's still helping him just like it was in the beginning. I haven't had the conversation, but when he got on it, I told him like, okay, this is helping you, but is there a plan out, or are you just taking amphetamines the rest of your life? Like, is it it's helping you now, you're eating this stuff and you know, I mean, like there's benefits from it, but is it like, are you just eating amphetamines the rest of your life?
I've had that thought.
Or is there eventually like, do you wane off? Like, I was just trying to like understand, like, is there a way out of it?
If it's short term or
right, or are you just eating pills?
permanent.
Yeah, you have to eat pills to function in society now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is a little tricky. I think about that a lot. But I take prescriptions
Right.
too. I've kind of come to the place because I've had to talk to my sister about medications because she's like, I don't want medications, but she does so bad when she's off of them. So
Which one is that?
Natalie.
Okay.
She does really bad when she doesn't take her OCD medication. Like, that one is so important.
Mm-hmm.
I take the OCD medication. I'm actually prescribed Adderall, but I don't take it consistently.
Just when you feel like you should.
Yeah. And a couple more. But basically, I've thought, you know, okay, this shit is like meth. Am I going to be on this drug the rest of my life?
Yes.
Or the OCD medication especially, because that one is so crucial. Like, OCD is just such a tricky disorder, and that's just the one thing that works for it.
Yeah.
So at that point, you're kind of like, okay, my OCD is, I mean, not cured, but a million times better being on this than off. How do you even get off? I've been explained a few times, like, how you do therapy You do therapy and prescriptions at the same time. And if you do more therapy and you get better, you can slowly like get off the prescriptions.
Is that?
But I don't think that works as much as they'd like it to.
Is that like a viable thing and a thing that they try, like that system of increasing the therapy, maybe slowly increasing the dosage until you don't need drugs to function?
Only if you make it that way. Oftentimes you see the therapist, the psychiatrist just gives you the drugs. So they don't even like work together.
There is no plan to like, okay, so
yeah, that's
the
on
goal
you.
is to make you better.
Yeah.
Okay. And making you dependent on a pill isn't, for me, I would say it's not a long-term solution to something.
Yeah, for sure.
Because now what happens if the pill goes away?
Yeah.
You have to figure that shit out within.
Yeah. So I don't think that works very often, the cognitive behavioral therapy and weaning off the pills.
Yeah.
However,
it's hardly even talked about. Like, yeah, it's fucked up.
The one thing I do have hope for is the newish kind of therapy that I'm doing, the trauma work, because
that's healing.
It's actually healing. And what's weird is my ADHD has gotten better since healing the trauma, because with my trauma, there was abuse and stuff. And so I would dissociate. I would just like, oh, I'm not here, and just like go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. That's literally what ADHD is. So my brain over time would just, when I got stressed, dissociate, check out. And then they started calling it ADHD. But like, that could very well just be a habit formed from trauma, So we go back in, fix that trauma. My ADHD has been getting better. I asked my psychiatrist, hey, can I get less milligrams of
So there you go.
Adderall?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. You got to find something to wane off the shit because,
But actually what she told me was, well, I'm afraid to lower your dosage because you are doing so much better. And I'm
so
like,
she pushed back.
She pushed back.
Holy fuck.
And I was like, I'm coming to you, telling you I'm doing better because I'm doing trauma work, and that's helping disorders.
Oh, no.
And she's like, no.
Oh, that's so fucked.
You're doing great because the pills. Let's not take you off the pills. And I'm like, bitch, no.
So when you go to them and you're like, okay, I'm finding something that's working, I can start to like wane off of dependency on drugs. They're like, oh, no. Like, no, you should still eat this.
No, literally, yeah. This was about Adderall, too.
Oh, my God.
I was like,
oh, man.
Wait, what? Because cognitive behavioral therapy, you could do the same thing with that kind of therapy. But the therapy I do was literally curing my ADHD.
Right. And you're telling her that. And she's like, no, we want to continue to drug you at this dose.
No, it's the pills that are helping you feel better. I'm like, no, it's the fucking therapy.
Like she knows better than you.
Right. Yeah. And so that's my hope for helping people get off pills is the work
eventually.
that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I also think that I have borderline personality disorder. I have a lot of symptoms, but I don't want to go in for a diagnosis because I think I could cure, they say it's not curable, but I think I could cure a lot of it by healing my trauma, because the not trusting people thing, that's from the abuse. The toxic traits that I have, just a lot of it is because of my trauma. So if more people were doing work like this, or people who are on medications were doing work like this and actually healing, they would be more successful at weaning off their medication.
Definitely. You're attacking the problem at the root.
At where it is.
Where it is.
Not covering it.
You're not putting a bandage on it.
Yes.
That's what a pill is.
That's exactly.
It's a bandage. Mm-hmm. It covers it up for the duration of the high or the duration of the effect of the pill, and then you got to eat another one.
Right.
It's a bandage.
It's not, and it's kind of interesting to put it that way, because sometimes you'll need a Band-Aid, but you don't keep them on forever.
Yeah.
If you're doing really bad, get some Band-Aids, but then your skin will heal itself. You go heal yourself, and then you could take the fucking Band-Aids off.
Yeah, and that's part of, I feel that's part of the business model of the pharmaceutical company, is to keep that revenue coming. There is no plan. There is no real strategy to get you off of this shit.
They don't sit down and make a game plan with you. Like, okay, this is what we're gonna do.
Okay, so
which would be so good.
that's what somebody that cares about you would do.
Right. Mm-hmm. That would be so good.
The drug dealer's like, no, we can't reduce the dosage.
Yeah.
That's what that's what a drug dealer does.
Yeah. Yeah. Dead ass. That was literally what she told me. I was like, I'm on 30 milligrams. And I was like, could we go down to like 20 or 25? Because like my ADHD is doing a lot better. I explained to her why. Because of my trauma, I would dissociate. Now I'm not so like an airhead because I'm healing the trauma. And she's like, no. She's like, I don't want to take you off. I'm like, don't take me off, just lower it. And like, that is a perfectly good reason to lower a dosage of medication.
You're healing.
Yeah. But for her, I mean, she's a dealer. So.
Oh man, that's brutal. I hate hearing that. I know that that's what the business model is and that's how they make their money. But when you tell me that shit, it's just like.
I know that it actually happens.
Because so many people are dependent on this shit. And if they really fucking knew. If they really knew who they were fucking dealing with.
Yeah. I think about that so much. I mean, I still don't really know. Hopefully a lot of my OCD will be cured with the trauma. I don't know how much trauma can cure of that because it's still so new. It's like, okay, what disorders are actually stuck and what disorders are habits that we built from trauma?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you that. What are you born with? Because I was fucked up as a kid and they would have fucking thrown, if my mom had the money to drug me with all this shit, we were poor as fuck. Okay, but if we had money, I would have been put on at least 3 different pharmaceuticals at 12, at 11, at 12. And for issues or problems that I was able to resolve within myself over time. Right? Mm-hmm. So I thank the fucking whatever God is the right God that we were poor at that time. Money. Because I didn't need the drugs. They would have chemically changed me. I don't know what they would have done. I don't know if I'd still be on them, dependent on them. I don't know if I tried to wane off, if it would have hurt me. But because we were poor, I didn't get the pills that I would have definitely got because I was ADHD. ADHD.
Like any mood disorder.
Mood disorder, probably. Would be called bipolar. I would fucking I would lash out and shit. It'd probably give me bipolar. It'd probably give me ADHD. And there's another one that they would have gave me for sure. But yeah, it's all stuff that I resolved within myself over time. That I had to go through. I had to figure out how to go into a hypnotic state and reprogram my brain. That's what I did.
Yeah, that's kind of similar to my therapy.
Yeah, there's hypnosis. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
At about 23, 24, 23. And then there's like sporadically at 11 or 12, I wanted to fucking die. There was nothing more that I wanted. Oh yeah, depression would be the other one. I got ADHD, depression, and probably fucking mood swings, whatever drug they give you for mood swings.
Yeah.
But there's periodically through my life, there's been times where I'm like fucking looking up what is the best way to kill myself? What has the highest percentage? Yeah. Because I don't want it to not work.
Right.
I don't want to wake up in a fucking hospital and now I have a bunch of fucking hospital bills and then my liver's fucked. I don't want to fucking wake up in the hospital and half my fucking brain's blown out, but I'm still here and hooked up to tubes. I want it to work. Right. So I would literally be comparing the percentages and like I was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's where I was mentally. But through hypnosis, I reprogrammed my shit and I'm fine now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Basically, that was just my way of saying that you might not need the drugs
at all.
But the harder thing is to do what I did.
Yeah.
The easy thing is to eat a pill.
Right. There is, I had it the hard way most of my life. I got on medications. I guess I was pretty young. I was 15. It's weird because I attempted suicide when I was 15. It's like, that is young.
Oh my God, it's so young.
But
holy shit.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So then I guess before I was 15, all that time I had ADHD, horrible, crippling anxiety. I had social anxiety, depression, suicidal, like so bad. And it's
about the age I was at when I was going through it too.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and
15 was bad for me.
I never had any medications. I was going to therapy, but I look back and I think about my future kids too. Like, okay, I have this stuff in my head. What if my kids have it, you know? If my kids show signs of ADHD, am I going to take them in and get them on Adderall, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah, it's like, because some of that shit you are born with. And then some of that.
I'm very curious about what are you born with? Because all of the issues that I had, I resolved.
Yeah.
None of it was biological.
None of it.
None of it. Because, yeah, all of that shit I resolved through rewiring and my brain through hypnosis and exercise.
Well, my unreliable opinion, I would say probably like 75% of disorders
Environment.
aren't genetic. Yeah. It's
just shit that's happened to you over time and unresolved issues.
Yeah. And probably
a quarter of it isn't. A quarter of it's just like you're fucked. You're born you're born fucked. You're fucked.
Like you're born on the spectrum or something. Like,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, like you're fucked.
Yeah.
You have to be drugged your whole life.
At that point, yeah. Or unless you want to develop some coping things, and then life might just be a little bit harder for you. But if you're cool with that, then shit, go for it, you know? But yeah, I don't, I would say like 75% could be cured, but not even half the people are gonna.
It's hard.
Yeah, like 70% of the people aren't going to know that if they cured their trauma or if they healed their trauma, a lot of their symptoms would go away. The majority of those people wouldn't even think that.
It's neurological. So much of it is fucking neurological. For me, it was 100% neurological.
Yeah.
I would develop these thinking patterns, and it was explained to me through a podcast that the way the mind works. See if I have the time to do this. Get this idea off. You have these thought patterns, and it's like you're like sledding on a hill of snow, and you go down one time, and there's now a path down that hill. The rest of it's still fresh snow, soft snow, but there's this one a little bit hardened path down, and then you go back down, and then you're kind of off into the soft snow, but you drift into that the first path that you made, and you go back down it. Now it's harder. Now it's harder, and it's deeper into the snow.
Yeah.
And then you still have the soft snow around, and then you go down it again, and then you're off in the soft snow, and then you fall back into that ridge, and now it's almost ice. And then, and at that point, basically, and then that's the mind.
Yeah.
You have these thoughts, and you take these thoughts in a certain place, and the more you do that, the more you're going to do that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I got the fuck out of there, right? Went on the other side of the hill.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy because there's a lot of beliefs I have that have just been solidified by my own experiences because it was already in my head. So
yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, great. Well, nice lighthearted conversation.
Yeah, good topics today.
It was uplifting.
Hope hope it brings
depression,
a
needles,
smile,
all that good stuff.
some smiles and laughs.
Yep.
Get the vaccine.
Yep, go get it. Get that injection, guys.
Get the jab.
And stay scared and fearful. Love you.